All right, we back. Thank you, Juwan Johnson,
Thank you.
coming on this Radio California edition. All right, we coming back. This is you're visiting from Oregon, like we were just talking about not too long ago. Is actually visiting from Oregon, actually native of LA, right? What part of LA? Yeah.
Los Angeles, lived right off of Crenshaw and lost the majority of my life, and now I live off 108th. So
Okay.
yeah, I've been in LA all my life. So.
Been in LA all your life, pretty much. What are you doing? What are you up to now? I know you went to Maricosta High School. Then from Maricosta High School, Oregon, correct?
Yep.
So how was your experience coming from, before we dive into, what you got going on to now and on to the future, your experience here from between Oregon and LA, what's the biggest difference, I would say?
Biggest difference between LA and Oregon, I would say, is the seasons. Oregon's beautiful. It has water. It rains a lot up there, though. That's
that
the
beautiful
thing.
nature.
It's in the nature. It's beautiful, and it's just nice to be a part of. Seeing all the greenery, it helps me focus, helps me think. Not as many people. That's one of the things I like
crowded,
about Oregon.
man.
Less traffic.
Yes.
And it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's just beautiful. You're
Yes,
in tune
yes.
with nature, and it's a way to de-stress. It's just even sitting out in nature, just listening. It's really relaxing.
So you're not coming back to LA?
Yeah.
Okay, no choice to come back to LA.
Yeah.
LA natives, we have to actually brand out as, like we was talking about, LA people need to get out a little bit more than what we're used to. LA can offer so much, but Oregon, something like Oregon, we'll talk about Washington, things like that can offer you even, better opportunity, better scenery, better price point, money, things like that. All right. So coming from Maricosta High School, great school, educational wise.
Great academics.
Academic school, very great school. So what was you like as a high school person?
As a high school person, I was kind of chill. Stayed with my different groups. I did Model United Nations, a lot of debate team. Really got in tune with the world. Got different perspectives from people all over the world. Traveling, doing debating, football. Had my boys, rugby, track, everything else. I had a close knit family. I even played a little bit of basketball, Maricosta, and I did a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Very active, very active. I know you were big into rugby, so that I know that transition from football to rugby. It's not a really big transition, but that thing that I believe that sparked you from, I think that was the key thing that was from, that launched you to Oregon, because without rugby, no matter what, you was already looking at what Ivy League schools, because you already had the brains for it. For those people who don't know, we went to high school together. But but I already know you already had the brains. But rugby actually took off. Actually was brought to Maricosta, and you actually took a toll for it, took a love for it, and you actually had a niche for it. And that's the thing that actually drove you to Oregon, or what you actually thinking about going to another university to play, or even just for academics?
Oh, I was gonna go to Dartmouth actually.
Okay.
So in high school, remember I was getting all the
the
news from Dartmouth. I was expected to go play there in Ivy League. Got a concussion at the end of our senior year. I even got a concussion during the football season, which anybody out there, take care of yourself. It's not a good headspace, and
you only had those injuries because you was going too hard. That's all.
Exactly.
That's all that was.
I only have one speed, and that's 100%.
Yeah, that's all it is.
So
that's all it is.
Yeah, I say Oregon was a blessing in disguise, because it was my last school of choice, truthfully, Oregon State University. I wanted to go study nuclear engineering and physics there so I can work on nuclear fusion. Unfortunately, they did not have a nuclear fusion program there, but they did still have that nuclear engineering program. And so I did nuclear engineering, physics, and business my first 3 years of school there, until I graduated with the nuclear engineering degree. And I played rugby there all 4 years. I was the captain, and I helped lead Oregon State to actually get ranked on the D1AA, so D1AA.
That's kind of cool. And you got to travel too a lot.
Yeah, we got to travel a lot, which was cool.
What was the most inspirational, or what was the spot that you didn't think that this was probably going to be all of that until you actually got there? Like, oh, this is actually a nice little state or city,
like a community?
Or whatever. Yeah, a community. What actually surprised you?
What community surprised me? There's a lot of different communities I would say Bellingham, Washington.
Okay.
It's Bellingham. It's Western Washington University. It was surprisingly beautiful up there. It does snow a lot up there, which I love snow and I love to see snow. I'm like a kid when the snow falls, but they have a little bit too much snow up there because you're close. You're like probably 20, 30 miles from the Canadian border. So you're up there, but that's one of those spots that was very, very beautiful, especially in the spring. Really good rugby team, very competitive team. We fought against them a large amount throughout our seasons, and that was our number one source of competition while I was at Oregon State. So.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So Washington is another one that's on my list as well to go visit. Juwan has given me all tips of going places I've never been before, you guys. So Oregon is one of them. Washington is one of them. That it? Is that pretty much like the main two you will say?
I like I said, the Pacific Northwest is beautiful.
Okay.
I'm still exploring myself, but like I said, I live in Oregon now. I want to get a house in Washington at some point, and definitely get a few different houses in Oregon, just because there's a lot of different Oregon's. I would say Oregon's a smashed up version of California with more trees.
Okay, I got you.
So like you still have the dry areas, so you have Eastern Oregon, but then you have the West Coast, which is closer to the coast. And it's a lot more plentiful of trees, and it's beautiful, and it's just very green. So there's that difference there. And you can see even up there that there's so many Californians trying to get a taste of that because we don't see a lot of that here.
Right. That's very true. You're a co-founder, CEO of a business called Cloud9 Cafe.
Yes.
All right. So explain to what myself and what the people are really eager to know, what is Cloud9 Cafe.
Well, Cloud9 Cafe is a CBD health and wellness company strictly focused at aiding the individual into elevating to a better lifestyle. We don't really push using CBD other than the fact of holistic use because you can't really abuse it. It's naturally produced in the body and a chemical known as anandamide. So it's already naturally in your body with the endocannabinoid system. And so my job is specifically to inspire, elevate, and educate individuals with CBD and just to live a better holistic life.
Okay.
That's just the simplicity behind it. There's nothing else about it. I started this straight out of Oregon State. I was a senior in college, and I finally started a company. I was like, I came up with the idea. I'm like, why isn't more people doing CBD products that have better infusion? Because it was introduced to me in rugby.
Right.
So I was using it for recovery and pain relief in rugby because you don't want the high from the THC sometimes, like, especially if you have to focus from the game. I know individuals that can do that, but I'm not that type of individual that can do those compatibly. CBD really helped me elevate my game in a different sense because when I had the knee pain, the bumps, the bruises, it helped me push through that and accelerate to a new higher level so I can leave my body out there on the field and really leave it all out there.
Right. So it made you focus, more when it comes down to just schooling and rugby, things like that. So you actually seen a difference between you on the CBD or doing CBD or whatever the products, that you were creating or you have. You actually seen the difference between you not taking it or you are taking it.
Yeah, there's a significant difference, especially with the topicals, things that you apply to your skin. Those help me the most in rugby.
The one that go on your skin.
Yeah, so for example, I gave you that topical, the coconut moisturizing cream that has that beautiful coconut scent.
It does. I'm gonna try it tonight. You can see how you got it. I'm gonna see how it is. I'm gonna let you know how it is.
It's nice. Well, like that, my last season at Oregon State, I was actually using that topical on my knees during all the games.
Oh, okay.
And when I was having, because I realized I have that right knee surgery, ACL, MCL, meniscus. I needed something to kind of help me out with that, especially because you still get more bumps and bruises when you play. Some Oregon State football players, I'm not going to name any names, but tried our product, and they were like, wow. It was our 100 milligrams. It was one of the first prototypes ever. We were just making some creams just to try on ourselves. This is like at the very beginning of Cloud9. And they came in, tried it, and they were like, 5 minutes later, like, I don't feel my knees. And I'm like, what? And they were intuitive. So I was like, this is 100 milligrams. Unfortunately,
these are football players, you said, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Oregon State football players. Unfortunately, once they found out that NCAA doesn't allow CBD, They couldn't use it anymore, but they actually ended up buying a 1,500 milligram each just because they wanted to utilize it in the time being. And it said they did say it helped them.
Who's all a part of this Cloud9? I know it's not just you. How many people actually are included and put a hand into this?
The starting of the business?
Yes.
There's only two of us. It's me and my business partner, Jared Latham.
Okay.
He was actually my rugby teammate at Oregon State. That's how we met. And we actually played the same position. We were both hookers in rugby.
Who won that competition?
Huh?
Who won that? Shout out, what was his name?
Jared Latham.
Jared Latham. Shout out to Jared Latham, man, for being a good person and helping Juwan with this wonderful Cloud9 Cafe. And it was just you two. Now it's expanded, correct?
Yes, we've expanded, and we have a whole social media team, and we have sales representatives, and we're even working with some Oregon State students to give them some internship efforts in helping us and helping them grow their portfolio as a new person coming into the workforce. So we're, like I said, I'm really pushing education, because you can't do anything if you're not going to educate the people that work for you, or people that are going to purchase products, or even the people that are going to utilize those products. So without education, you can't really do anything else. And I think education is very overlooked in many industries. So I feel like empowering your employees, empowering your clients, and like I said, retail, distributor, whatever, that's where the power of a community really comes together.
In 3 to 5 years, where do you see Cloud9 Cafe going? Like, what's the overall goal?
What's the overall goal? Well, the overall goal is obviously expand, benefit the most amount of people as possible, really just impact communities. So 3 to 5 years, I see us expanding, getting a bigger distribution warehouse out of Oregon somewhere else, probably not where we're at right now. Probably closer to the Oregon State campus. I want to work with Oregon State and U of O to help teach students in finance and in business and a little bit more, so individuals can be more hands-on in the community, like I was saying. So I'm thinking about expanding, have a distribution facility, and have a training course so we can really pull talent from Oregon State and U of O moving forward. I also see it as having other regional distribution stores all over the United States, and even shipping, hopefully abroad, based off of the laws. We also want to officially open the Cloud9 Cafe. Now, this is down the line, like I said, and this will be close to that 5-year marker, but we want to open a cafe. That's
a storefront.
It's not going to be really a storefront. It's going to have our products where they will be for sale, but it's not the purpose of that. It's the environment. It's the community aspect of it. It's the educational aspect, as well as the CBD aspect and cannabinoid aspect. We want to open something up that individuals can try CBD products of various tastes. So say like some pastries that you can only get it here. And so it's custom made. Hopefully we'll have to see and work around whatever regulations there, but we just want to be a transparent business that just kind of grows.
For someone who is starting off with their business, who wants to grow a business, don't know where to go, where to turn, how to get investors, if you have investors, how to get people on board, what will be your advice for a small business owner? Like I said, you're only 23 years old, so the fact that you have a business up and running is very remarkable. You don't really see that many 23-year-olds aspiring to have a business, let alone a CBD oil business. So what will be your main advice for a person like that?
My main advice would be work hard, be determined, be hungry, be hungry. You have to be the most hungry person out there and realize that success will only come to the ones that seek it. If you're gonna let the small failures slow you down, then business is not for you. And start with why. When you start from the why and you work inside out, emotionally, internally, and you know why you're starting your business and how you want to impact people and what you want to do with that, that will leave the biggest overall impacts on any business from an entrepreneurial standpoint. And lastly, I would suggest have your time to yourself and plan, grow. And you can grow by yourself too. It's just every single day being consistent and using the compound effect to grow yourself as well as grow your business, as well as grow whatever you want to work on. It's the same thing with any goal you have in mind. It's just taking the small steps every day to complete it on a consistent basis. And in the long run, you'll get more benefit and more growth. And overall.
All right. Y'all here first. Go ahead and check out my boy Juwan's CBD Cafe, Mr. CEO, co-founder. I'm gonna have everything in the description box for you guys. The website, Instagram, whatever the case may be, it's all gonna be on the screen for you. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. This is our radio. Jay Mercerio. Any last words, Mr. Juwan?
Hey, thanks, Josh, always for letting me on here and for
Absolutely.
being a homie. And thanks for my family and friends for supporting me and support Oregon State Rugby, LA Rugby, Maricosta Rugby, and lastly, go Beavs always, baby.
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs.
I've been hustling all day, and I came a long way. I'm still focused on my grind and I'm working overtime cause I know it's gon' pay. I've been hustling all day,